All right, so let's start with today's something I would love to talk with you guys. Like I've been, you know, living in China and another country called UK for many years. Okay, so that's a bit weird to start with talking about such questions, but I'd love to share something with you guys. That's the most common things I've been found. So many things. So today we're going to talk about something called culture. Yeah, a culture things. Yeah, that's so many people start to hear in the first time. Like, oh my gosh, culture. To be honest, I want to share is like because I start to learn these words in like around like 20 years ago. Culture. Oh my gosh. I remember started with my age around 5. I start hear this word culture. I don't know. I don't even think about this program, this kind of questions around that time. But tell you what, the culture things in China should start talking first thing, the education. When I start to pick about this education, like imagine like so many people start with your, when I started with we get born in this word, and probably the first thing you start is your primary school, right? Your primary school, and middle school, high school, and your university. But in China, I call it the education is more like a prisoner, to stay in prisoner, to be a prisoner and stay in the jail. And phew, oh my gosh, I wish it's just like so many awful story. Yeah, so many disgusting memories start to recall in my mind. Yeah, that's the first thing I want to share with you because it's like so many people they never coming to China before. They never come to China before because they it's like in China is well staying in UK as so many of my friends as would you mind to come into China to travel? I love to pay for you. I love to pay for your flight tickets. I love to pay for everything. I ask them and they say no 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 no. They don't say no. They just say what do they say? It's like they say like yeah I will probably I will think about it. Yeah, they just say, I was thinking about it, but they never say no because they try to keep polite. But for Chinese people, you know, if I have something to describe Chinese people, I just use, have no words to describe them. It's just too much complicated things. They are not straightforward. They just complicated and they just makes people get confused and they just try to, drag you into the hell. Okay, let's start talking about the education. Let's back to our topic today. Talk about the culture. Let's talk about what's the difference between China vs UK for education part. I do remember in sort of with education there is a let's just skip with the kindergarten because kindergarten that kind of part of memory makes me just I can't remember it. I can't even recall from my mind. So let's start with primary school. Primary school I get around like 40 students. Around 40 students to 50 students for primary school. Okay. Primary school students in one classroom. As oh my gosh, I just start to make me feel sick. Yeah, we tell the truth, so that's making me feel sick. And every students, they have to wear the uniform. They have to wear the uniform. They have to, you know, start their lesson. Start with their lesson in a day. Start from around 7. I do remember it start from 7 or 8. Yeah, I think it starts from 7. And it's nearly finished around like 5:30 around or 6:30. Okay, it's quite a long time. And it's a nightmare for me. Actually, it should have started with 8, but why the course students come to 7, I do remember is because they have some traditional education routine called the morning reading. Yeah, the morning reading. I should call it morning reading. In the morning, they ask students to read some books. Holy shit, I would just say, holy shit. Around 7, they start to ask students to read some books. What kind of books you must think about it? That's a nightmare. Start with that time. It's called what is it called? The textbooks. Teaching for like not mathematics, but teaching for like teaching for Chinese. Yeah, teaching for Chinese. It's like Chinese people learn Chinese. Yeah, you can say start about that. Yeah, and we call it pinyin. It's like they'll use those some symbols to pronounce the Chinese words, to pronounce the Chinese characters. That's how we use it, and they ask around like 40 to 50 students to do the same things all together. And after 7, they ask students to do like 7 to 7:30 around to do the morning reading. And in the first class, I do remember in my mind, it's around like 40 minutes to 50 minutes. Okay, 50 minutes. 50 minutes. They start to ask people to, 50 minutes around the first for 50 minutes. They start to ask people to do what? To do the first lesson. And it's, I think the first lesson, they usually think like, because Chinese people, they are smart. And they make some like kind of weird regulations, like weird logic. Like they think Chinese people or every people live in China, they think like people in the morning, they think they are clever, or they think they are much smart, much smarter compared to the afternoon. So in the first fucking 15 minutes in the morning, they ask all the fucking students to do mathematics, to do the fucking math lessons in the morning in the first class. In the first class, in the first lesson, they call the 40 to 50 students to do the same class called mathematics. As I do remember. Yeah. And after mathematics, they ask students to do some like Chinese lesson. Another 15 minutes. Okay, there is a 10 minutes break or 5 minutes break. I don't remember. I think there is 10 minutes break. Yeah, 10 minutes break. And people are curious about like, oh my God, what Chinese people do in 10 minutes break in the primary school? Yeah, in the 10 minutes break, they ask those children to messing around, bully, everything's happened in this 10 minutes. Even some people maybe heard about there is apps called TikTok. Yeah, TikTok. There are so many videos like talking about the bully scenes, like all the students get bullied in the school. That's what happened in the 10 minutes. And what happened with those teachers, what they do in the 10 minutes, they just go back to their, go back to their office, go back to their office and start to drink some coffee, start to drink some tea, start to drink some, prepare for the next lessons, just try to, correct those papers, what the homework they give to those students. They're just trying to crack it. Yeah, that's what those teachers do. And what happened in this 10 minutes? That's a mystery in in China. Like this 10 minutes, some young students get bullied, and some old students, they do some, disgusting things, all the things you can't even imagine. Because there are some like people, maybe the people from UK, people from US, people from Australia, they come to China to travel. They think like Chinese people are a little bit conservative. But I will tell you, bro, I will tell you every bro I love. I met those real people in UK, those real people in US. I love to tell you, bro, Chinese people are not conservative. Okay? If you're trying to use this word conservative, I would just say, please don't use this word again to describe a Chinese people conservative. Okay, they do so many nasty things. They do so many disgusting things. They do so many embarrassing things. They do so many things can't even write in a paper. They do so many things can't even report to the video, to the CCTV. CCTV is not the camera. CCTV is a channel in China. CCTV is like a official channel to report so many things. What happened in this country? It's like a BBC. Okay, it's like a BBC in UK. Well, CCTV is not the camera what it described in the UK. CCTV in China is a channel to report something, like official report, like a BBC. Okay, but I would love to say like this 10 minutes, it's a nightmare to most of the normal students. Okay, it's a nightmare. Oh my gosh, you can't even imagine what happened in these 10 minutes. And I can't even imagine like how those students, those teachers, there is one word we call it close one eye, open one eye. Because this is some Chinese people use these words. One eye closed, one eye open. That means like let something happen, avoid something happened. Okay. Certainty. Holy shit. Can you even imagine these words? Okay, that's what Chinese people usually do. Let one thing happen and try to avoid something's happened. Holy shit, that's what those Chinese teachers do in the 10 minutes. So they let those students do whatever they want. They just ignore it. whatever it's called, bully, whatever. Like they try to not old students just punch another young student's face. That's also many shit things happened. Okay, and there are so many tricky things. That's not called bully. Like some students try to hide some students' homework. That even happened. And some students try to say some words like really disgusting words to another students. That's what happened in China. That's what exactly happened in China. I would just say, holy shit, bro. How those teachers, okay, those teachers, that such kind of disgusting things happened between the break time. And there is no supervisor to supervise such things. It's not unsupervised. There's no supervisor. They let such disgusting things to happen in this 10 minutes. Okay, let's just skip this kind of things. And another 10 minutes break again, 10 minutes break again, and start with probably another English lesson. Okay, English lesson. That's the thing I want to talk about today, the culture. Okay, the education of the culture in China. All right, that's what I try to discuss today. Uh, the English lesson. Holy shit! Can you even believe Chinese people are learning English? Holy shit! Why I say holy shit? Because I don't want to say these words, but I try. I just keep saying these words because there's so many disgusting things happened in China, but I didn't realize this is so disgusting, as this is so just like a nightmare. After I come to UK, after I come to US, oh, I found out UK people don't do this. US people never do this. Why? Okay. So English lessons, what does those Chinese people do? Then they teach they teach their Chinese people do the English lesson. What they do? Yeah, they use some like retard or just it's not correct. I never correct English. They just use some retard language to teach English because they use the Chinese teacher to teach young kids English. And those Chinese teacher, they graduate course some teaching university or yeah, teaching university like it's like just the Chinese teacher graduates from those university. After they graduate, they send those teachers to their primary school or high school to middle school to teach those young kids for English. That's how this this government, this Chinese government, they let those teachers do. They have to graduate from one specific like teaching university. After they graduate from teaching university, they just teach those young kids for English. Yeah, and they never do IELTS, IELTS. They never do IELTS. They never do TOEFL. So those teachers, they never do this. They don't even know this. They just start to teach those young kids, and they use some textbooks. Start teach with hello, hi, what is your name? How are you? I'm fine, thank you. Those language, disgusting language you never heard, and they never use in reality. They write in the textbook to teach Chinese students. So if you see a Chinese students come to UK or come to US to study abroad, if they say I'm fine, thank you, if you ask them some like how's going or what's up, they don't understand how to answer your question. Just some easy words like what's up. If you ask freshers, Chinese students just come to US or UK, if you try to ask them, they just never know how to answer your question. So don't blame them. Start to blame them. They start to teach. In China, those Chinese teachers, they start to teach the young Chinese students in a very disgusting, and I will just say like teaching a moron way, a moron method to teaching those young kids in a moron way. Like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Oh, you should do this, you should do that. Holy shit. Okay? Another holy shit. But I have to use these words. That's the best words to describe my temper right now. Another 10 minutes break. Booty again. Okay, booty again, booty again, booty again. English class. Another class, I call it history. Happy time. Happy time history. Holy shit. So those young kids, especially for Chinese students, okay, they love history. Why they love history? Because history teachers, they don't talk about mathematics. They never talk about the English. Mathematics and English, those are the Chinese students hate those two lessons. That's the two courses. They hate them so much. But the history, just so many people love them because in history, probably this teacher here, those teacher here, probably he didn't receive a bachelor degree. He probably didn't receive a bachelor degree. Yeah. I'm telling the truth. In many schools, especially in China, in Asian countries, probably not just in China. I don't know. This kind of thing is like it's like preview. Okay, I'm not so sure. But I have to tell you the truth. There are so many teachers. They are not just they didn't receive a bachelor degree and then start to teach history to those young kids about history. And for math, exactly the same. Those teachers probably don't have a bachelor degree and they start to the teaching. Why is that kind of thing happening? You must ask me. Does that has to be like a master or PhD to teach like primary school? I tell you the truth. Those kids, those teachers, sorry, those teachers, they didn't receive a bachelor degree and they just receive a degree called their what is it called they graduated from technical university. Compared to UK, I would call it college. US or yeah, compared to US education, I would call it college, not a university, a college. Like anyone can do it. You just graduate, you can probably just go to a Tesco, or you probably just go to a supermarket, you know, to do just some selling stuff probably. Yeah, I will probably just go to a factory to do just some maintenance to, to do some fixing the car or whatever. But those teachers, they come to primary school to motherfucker. Those motherfucker teachers, they come to primary school. Because in China, I call it public school and private school. In public school, okay, in public school, especially whatever primary school, middle school, high school, the teachers, if they have a job in public school, they cannot be easily get fired. I call it like headcount. Okay, if I use these words correctly, I'm not so sure. Headcount or what? Because I can't even find these words in Western dictionary. Okay, in English dictionary. So those teachers, they just teaching in public school. They cannot be easily be fired. It's like they are very hard to losing their job. If they find the teacher job, they teach in primary school, what they teach in high school, they teach in middle school. It's hard to fire them because those teachers, they get something called catacomb. And so those motherfuckers, they are smart. Okay, those teachers, those motherfuckers, they don't have a bachelor degree. They don't have a bachelor degree for English. They don't have a bachelor degree for mathematics. But those motherfuckers, they start to teach young Chinese students history, English, mathematics, and Chinese. Okay, so start from here. There are around like 4 lessons. 4 lessons in the morning. 4 lessons in the morning, and how many lessons in the afternoon? How many lessons? Around like 3. Okay. We call it PE class. Okay, PE class, and we call it like to do the gym. Not like gym, but they just send those kids, send those young kids. In the afternoon, this is in the morning, all right? In the morning. And normally, how long of the break gonna be? The break gonna be 1 hour. I do remember. I'm not so sure. Okay, I do remember it's around like 1 hour, 1:30, 1 hour and a half. I'm not so sure. 1:30 minutes. I don't know. 1 hour 30 minutes. I don't know. But I do remember it's 1 hour break. They send those students come to PE class, and what happened in PE class? You must, curious about Chinese people do whatever they want in PE class. They started teaching those uh Chinese people do some weird things, right? You start to think about, oh my gosh, because Chinese people, they don't want to pay anything to teach those students. Even when you start to get a job in China, you will find out the company, they don't want to pay anything to teach you. They want you to know everything, and they want to keep you like silent. They want to keep you silent, be quiet, and you start to do your job. That's what exactly happened in primary school. Okay, so when you find a job in the future after you graduate, or when you start to send your kids to a primary school in China, you're gonna find out, shit, they do exactly the same thing. The company in China, they don't want to pay anything to the employee. They want the employee to know everything and start to get a work, and they want them to keep quiet. They don't want the employee to have some conversation, to talk, a slight little talk, to have a conversation in the when you start work. They want to, every fucking minute they want you to working so hard. That's what exactly happened in China. When you get into PE class, you send those kids to play football, play basketball, whatever. And I start to teach those students to do some exercise. What is called exercise? They call it. I would give a name to it. I would call it like the gym exercise. It should be called this name. Or I just call it dancing exercise. Why should you say like dancing exercise? It's a kind of dancing. It's like use your body, 1, 2, 3, 4. Some of this kind of thing. Oh my gosh, it's called dancing exercise. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the name. The fucking Chinese people. What I don't even know why they ask those young kids to do the dancing or whatever. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 6, 7, 8. Again. Okay, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. They just can do some weird things in the PE to teach those kids to do the weird things. I don't know. I just try to cry, bro. I started to try to cry, bro. Yeah. And then after PE, 10 minutes break again. And the magic things happened here. Another 10 minutes, these 10 minutes in the PE class, bully again, 10 minutes, bully again. And those kids back to the classroom. Another 40 to 50 students back to classroom to do what? Mathematics. Yeah, that's why the Chinese people, I call them evil. Chinese people are evil. They ask 10 to 15 years old kids, not even an adult. They call those young kids to do what? To do math in the afternoon. To do the fucking math again in the afternoon after PE. And what the mathematics in the mathematics, what the those people do? They do what is called the 10 times 9 equals what? And 9 times 9 equals what? Okay, probably you can imagine those things, disgusting things. They ask those young kids after PE class, after they come to the mathematics directly without just with a 10 minutes break, and they ask those young kids to do the math again. Okay. After math, they do what? After math, they do the psychology or physics, a little bit of physics. Yeah, some kind of things, or chemistry. Yeah, chemistry. That's a final one. Okay, after the final one, oh my gosh, after a day you get bullied. You get 7 to 5:30, you get bullied, you get PE, you get mathematics in 2 mathematics in a day, you get your English, and your English teacher is a Chinese people, and he don't even know how to speak Chinese English, and he started trying to teach Chinese students to do English. So forget about me. Forget about me. I'm not blame those Chinese people. I'm not blame them. They treating those Chinese students like a slave. And after around 5:30 to 6:30, 6:30, sorry, p.m. in the afternoon, they just go home. The parents send the cars to get the kids go home. That's what exactly happened. Okay, after I'm gonna talk about Chinese culture in different sections. Today's sections, I'm gonna talk about the education, the first part of the education. Okay, just about the primary school. I'm gonna talk about the middle, high school, a little bit university, and probably this first section about the Chinese culture, about the education. Okay, the education. That's a topic today. So it's not too long. It's not too short, but just a little bit. After 5:30 to 6:30, they send those kids to do what? To just send them to go back to what? Go back to 5:30 to 6:30. They go back to home. They stay at home in China. They stay at home in China. And the Paris get occur. It's not some kind of fancy curse. It's just some normal curse. It's not like Lamborghini, whatever. It's just normal, a cheap curse. Okay, come to get the kids come to home, and what's going to happen in home? Okay, in the home, you're gonna have a desk here, and the kids gonna sit here, have a chair, to start writing the homework. From 6:30 to 11 p.m. Yeah, 11. And I call it early because most students they probably do to 12 to 1 in the midnight to 2 in the midnight. But I just give a time here 11 around. Okay, 11 around. 6:30 to 11 around. p.m. Start to ask their kids to do the homework. How many homework they have a day? A lot. Okay, mathematics, English, so many disgusting things they have. And they have to sit there to do the homework. That's called first day. And that's just what happened in the primary school, bro. That's what just happened in the primary school. That's the first day. In China, a normal kids, for the first day they spend in a primary school, that's what happened. I'm telling you the truth, bro. So, those bros, I mean the bros indicate to the guys I met in UK or US. Why I call them bros? Because I found out they are normal people. But in China, people are slaves. Holy shit, they are slaves. Monsters. Let's just start in, when you say those bros, when you say the Chinese people come over to your country to study or find a job, bro, please keep away from them. And if you find something weird of those Chinese people do, it's normal. It's just normal. I call it normal, okay? Bros, if you find any Chinese people come over to your country, UK, US, Australia, whatever, that's what most popular countries Chinese people love to come to study. They spend loads of tuition fees, come over to study. They spend all of the money come to study. If you find any behaviors or any things they do so weird, bros, just accept it. It's okay. Because they have been treating like a slave at least for 18 years. Primary school in China is 6 years. Middle school is 3 years. University, sorry, the high school, the middle school is 3 years, and another 3 years for high school, and another 4 years. Okay. For university, and another 3 years for master, another 4 to 5 years for PhD, or at least 4 to 6 years for PhD. Okay, that's Chinese education routine. At least around like 18 years, they've been treating like slaves for Chinese people. So I would say, bros, keep those Chinese motherfuckers. If you find their behaviors are abnormal, it's okay. Because you guys are from what? Developed country. China is developing country. ING, developing, and you are developed. Bro, there are so many things. If you find like Chinese people spit to the ground, or punching other people's face, or whatever, they do so many things crazy, or they do so many things weird, or they are so stressful, like they masturbate on the street. Normal. If you guys find abnormal, it's normal, bro. Normal. You find abnormal, normal. I call it normal. So, don't blame them today. And if you can help them, please help them. Because Chinese people, they come over to UK or US, they're trying to graduate. That's the first thing. Graduate, then find a job. please give them a job and ask them to stay in UK and US. If they can stay in UK and US, they are far away from a slave, far away from slave. So please save them. Please save them. Please hope you guys have a little bit, humanity. Please save them. Okay, that's today's topic. That's today's something I want to share with you guys. I want to, you know, let you guys know something. I just also want you everybody know what's happening in China right now. Okay, yeah, and I'm going to share this topic day and day and day and day and day. Hope many people to know these things. Okay, see you. Bye.